Ministry of Science and Higher Education, MOSHA. Social Anthropology for Freshman University Students. September, 2021. Learning Objectives of Anthropology. Upon the successful completion of the course, students will be able to develop an understanding of the nature of anthropology and its broader scope in making sense of humanity in a global perspective, understand the cultural and biological diversity of humanity and unity in diversity across the world and in Ethiopia, analyze the problems of ethnocentrism against the backdrop of cultural relativism, realize the socially constructed nature of identities and social categories such as gender, ethnicity, race, and sexuality, explore the various peoples and cultures of Ethiopia, understand the social, cultural, political, religious and economic life of different ethno-linguistic and cultural groups of Ethiopia. Understand different forms marginalization and develop skills inclusiveness. Appreciate the customary systems of governance and conflict resolution institutions of the various peoples of Ethiopia. Know about values, norms, and cultural practices that maintain society together. Recognize the culture area of peoples of Ethiopia and the forms of interaction developed over time among themselves, and develop broader views and skills to deal with people from a wide variety of socio-economic and cultural backgrounds. Brainstorming. 1. What do you think of anthropology is? 2. What are your perceptions about anthropology? 3. How do you internalize the term human? Chapter Objectives. Upon the successful completion of this unit, you will be able to define the concepts in anthropology, understand the historical development of anthropology, express the scope and subject matter of anthropology, explain the subdisciplines of anthropology, internalize unique feature of anthropology, convert misconception held about anthropology, differentiate anthropology from other disciplines, appraise the relevance of anthropology in our life. Concepts in anthropology. To begin with the etymology of the term anthropology is a compound of two Greek words, anthropo and logos, which can be translated as human being / mankind and reason / study / science, respectively. So, anthropology means reason about humans or the study or science of humankind or humanity. Moreover, man has two important characteristics, biological and cultural. It is very important to understand that the biological and the cultural characteristics are inseparable elements. Culture influences human physical structures and the vice versa. In more specific terms, anthropology is a science which investigates the strategies for living that are learned and shared by people as members of human social groups, examines the characteristics that human beings share as members of one species, Homo sapiens, and the diverse ways that people live in different environments, analyzes the products of social groups' material objects, material cultures, and non-material creations, religion / beliefs, social values, institutions, practices, etc. As a matter of simplicity and brevity, anthropology primarily offers two kinds of insight. First, the discipline produces knowledge about the actual biological and cultural variations in the world. Second, anthropology offers methods and theoretical perspectives enabling the practitioner to explore, compare, understand, and solve these varied expressions of the human condition. the historical development of anthropology. Like the other social sciences, anthropology is a fairly recent discipline. It was given its present shape during the 20th century, but it has important forerunners in the historiography, geography, travel writing, philosophy and jurisprudence of earlier times. There are, in any case, many ways of writing the history of anthropology, just as, in any given society, there may exist competing versions of national history or origin myths, promoted by groups or individuals with diverging interests. Generally speaking, anthropology as an academic discipline was born during the 19th century, out of the intellectual atmosphere of Enlightenment, which is the 18th century social philosophical movement that emphasized human progress and the poser of reason, and based on Darwinian theory of evolution. By the late 1870s, anthropology was beginning to emerge as a profession. A major impetus for its growth was the expansion of Western colonial powers and their consequent desire to better understand the peoples living under colonial domination. As one of the foremost anthropologists of the 20th century, Claude Lévi-Strauss, has expressed it, anthropology has humanity as its object of research, but unlike the other human sciences, it tries to grasp its object through its most diverse manifestations, 1983, p. 49. In other words, anthropology studies humanity with its all aspects of existence, and in its all means of differences, diversity, and similarities, commonality. Where every human being lives, there is always anthropology. Reflect your views on the following questions. What would be the limit to study human beings? What specific time period is the subject of its study? Where would be the spatial boundary to study human beings? Which human characteristic, biological or and cultural, should be the subject of its inquiry? Scope and subject matter of anthropology. The breadth and depth of anthropology is immense. There is no time and space left as far as man exists. In other words, the temporal dimension covers the past, the present and even the future. In terms of the spatial dimension, anthropology studies from Arctic to desert, from megapolis to hunting-gathering areas. The discipline covers all aspects of human ways of life experiences and existence, as humans live in a social group. Subfields of anthropology. As discussed in the above headlining, there is no time, space, and characteristics left to study human beings. It is so wide as an ocean. Accordingly, it is required to divide and understand in depth. Accordingly, anthropology has often categorized into 4 major subfields. 1. Physical/biological anthropology. 2. Archaeology. 3. Linguistic anthropology and 4. Socio-cultural anthropology. Reflect your views on the following questions. Is it possible to study all aspects of human experiences? If so, how could we study it? 1. Physical/biological anthropology. Reflect your views on the following questions. In what ways does man differ from other animal species? What are the sources of biological variation? What differentiate human body from other animals? How humans have evolved up to the present time? From where did we, human species, come from? What is evolution? We hope you remember your high school science lessons on evolution. To archaeological anthropology. Reflect your views on the following questions. What do we mean by the human past? Which discipline tells you about the human distant past? What and how do we learn from our past? Reflect your views on the following questions. Discuss the lesson we get by studying our past. Have you ever visited any museums in your area? What kind of archaeological evidences are commonly found in your area? From your observation, which evidences are similar and different to those of communities/groups around your nearby community? Why do you think is such differences and similarities happening? 3. Linguistic anthropology. Do you speak a language other than your mother tongue? If yes, what's the similarity and difference between the languages? What is the difference between human communication and any other animal communication? What distinguishes human communication from any other animal communication? What do languages functions? What is relation between language and culture, and human thought patterns? Do you think that your language changes? If so, what makes language change? Would change in language brings any change on our identity? 4. Sociocultural anthropology. Can we maintain our identity in state of global changes? How can we keep our identity in state of global changes? How does language construct identity, ideology, and narratives? What is society and culture? What differentiate human society from other animal societies such as bees, ants, etc.? How can we study cultures? Ethnography. Ethnology requires field work to collect data. Uses data collected by a series of researchers, often descriptive, usually synthetic, group/community specific, comparative/cross-cultural. Sociocultural anthropology uses ethnographical and ethnological approaches to answer all sort of questions related to culture and human societies. To properly address emerging questions related to culture and societies, it has been subdivided into many other specialized fields as anthropology of art, medical anthropology, urban anthropology, economic anthropology, political anthropology, development anthropology, anthropology of religion, demographic anthropology, ecological anthropology, psychological anthropology, ethnomusicology, etc. All of them are considered to be the applied areas of anthropology. Reflect your views on the following questions. From your life experiences, which subspecialization of socio-cultural anthropology could solve your community problems? How did humankind arrive at the present stage of biological, intellectual, and cultural development? How are different people in different places similar and different, both biologically and culturally/behaviorally? Is there a common human nature, and if so, what is it like? How can we explain why cultures vary? What makes anthropology unique? Misconceptions about anthropology. Reflect your views on the following question. What did you hear/read about anthropology, anthropologists, and the work they do? The contributions of anthropology. How do you think relations between and among different scientific disciplines be expressed? What do you think is the relationship between anthropology and another social scientific discipline? Being introduced to the general subject matter of anthropology and the approaches and perspectives it adheres, on what different ways could you be benefited from learning anthropology as a common course? End of the beginning to start the ending. /Gs. MC Janalahuo/Amharic. Thank you, English. Galadima, Afan Oromo. Siesya, Mandarin/Chinese. Shukuriya, Arabic. Merci, French. God bless Ethiopia. Subscribe now.